Hey everybody, this is Troy Saunders, and you're listening to the BAAS Entertainment Podcast. Listening experiences for the indie artist aficionado. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the BAAS Entertainment Podcast. If you didn't know, I'm Troy Saunders. And you know what? I'm so excited to have this young man in the studio. Well, I'm going to say in the studio, even though we are doing through a Zoom meet. But I'm so glad to have him on this episode. We have known each other since 2009 when the BAAS group first began. And he has done so many wonderful things since then. And to get the time to grab onto him and have him in the studio with me today, I am honored. And before I introduce him, his name is Darien Dean. You know, I got Darien Dean in the house, y'all. And so before we even start chatting, I want to play something from back in 2009 on his album, If These Walls Can Talk. It's called Composure. Check it out.
As friends, working on the job, yeah. Can't pretend, even back then, I watched you from afar. You learn me, I'll study you, highlight my favorite parts. Stars aligned, yours and mine, perfect from the start. Whoa, no, I barely know ya. I lose you. Yeah, na. Through prolonged exposure, love me and escaping something new. My eyes were closed, and you took my hand and led me through the dark. Whoa, said happiness may all depend on where you place your heart. You welcome me with open arms when my ship hit your shore. In this world we're living in, there's just one thing left that's pure. So, and though I barely know ya, I lose all composure when I'm with you, yeah. Oh, through prolonged exposure, baby. Escaping something new. Hey, let's take a journey. Come on, let's get away. know I love you, girl. Listen. Oh, I barely know. I'm gonna take you around the world with me. When I'm with you. I know it just meant what I wanna know. Yeah. You're everything to me. Whoa. Let's take a chance, baby. Let's take a chance. Let's get away. I wanna know you, baby. I wanna with you. Loving you is all good. Hey, I said through prolonged exposure. So much on my mind, baby. She love me. I wanna take me around the world. She take me around this world. Let's go. Yeah. I got my bags packed and I'm ready. Escape is something. I'm trying to, and I got you, and I wanna know it, baby. Whoa, don't hold your thing, no. Escape is something
Yeah, you know I don't want to cut off one note. Anyway, without further ado, Mr. Darien Dean, y'all.
What's good, brother? What is good?
Everything is good. Everything is good. I'm glad you're here. I started talking, going right into the conversation. Didn't even introduce you.
I know that's right. Hey, man, I just got to say it's interesting, man. I'm really happy to be here with you first and foremost. And it's funny that you picked that song because it's appropriate, prolonged exposure. Really, my initial exposure was with you guys, with BAAS, and it was like, that's kind of how it began. So this is like a full circle moment for me to get some more exposure on the podcast and to be chopping it up with you once again, man. So I'm very happy to be here, brother. No doubt.
I'm thankful and happy that you are here myself. Shoot, like I said, it's been 12 years and you were just going strong, and I'm happy and proud, and I'm glad that I was able to be there back in 2009 and help in whatever little way that I was able to help.
Oh, no, it was a big way, man. These are the foundational elements. And I also am happy that you started off by saying a young man, because 12 years later and I'm still a young man. Hey, I'll take it.
You was in your teens when it started. That's why,
yeah, that's the story. That's exactly right. I was like a young prodigy, yeah.
We both still young.
Exactly. Let them know. For the podcast, we young as all hell.
That's right.
That's the whole thing. Mm-hmm.
So that was off of If These Walls Can Talk, and you had 2 more albums since then, and then there's another one coming called Destinations, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's part of the trilogy: Departures, Detours, and Destinations. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that. Are you working on that now? That's why.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's in the can. The pandemic put a lot of stuff in the stall for a lot of different people, myself included. So I have a lot of other side projects I started to work on because I just didn't want to release it in the midst of the chaos and kind of have it be lost, And it also gave me some time to reflect on where I am as a musician now. I mean, a lot of things have changed, even listening back to composure is so funny, man, because that I haven't, I don't really listen to the stuff that often. So I haven't listened to it in a while. And it's just funny how, obviously it's a longer song than most people have attention span for nowadays.
Yeah, right.
So, there's changes. We got the bridge, we got the vamp out, I still rock like that. That's the music I love. So, I still do that. But it is interesting to see how trends change and see how what you do works in with them. I mean, for me, the song is always the thing that we start with. I mean, that's the foundation. And the song tells me all the rest of the choices to make, and that's been the same from If These Walls Could Talk through every record I've done, side project, everything. To me, it's the art of songwriting is the consistent thing, whether I'm doing a house record, if I'm doing an R&B record, if I'm doing a reggae record, all of them, they're all exactly the same from the standpoint of a songwriter, because for me, the word is everything, so it's just interesting though, to see how things have evolved. And especially since we began, the indie soul scene was a different situation back then. There was a lot of different there were a lot of different artists in the, I guess, neo soul category and things of that nature. So things have changed quite a bit, you know.
Yeah, it's true. And like you just said, it's longer than most songs nowadays, because most songs nowadays is 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Man, exactly. And people still ain't got the attention span because they got the TikTok attention span. They're like, man, this is too long. I need to, they got these one verse songs now. I'll be like, damn, one verse. Shoot, I could write like a whole album in a week. I only got to write one verse for each song.
You know, it's crazy. You know, but I'm with you. I'm like, I still need my bridge, and I need my build up. There's no build. I mean,
for me, it's a story. I need a story. Like, imagine if you went to the movies and you only got act 1 of the 3-act structure. I mean, it's to me, I understand the idea of making a vibe and a mood, which I definitely get. But sometimes when you got to tell a story, you need a little bit of time to get to the bridge. You got to take me to the bridge. You can't go to the bridge from the jump. I mean, that ain't the bridge then, Nope. But anyway.
Shoot, Luther would have a hard time right now if he was
right. Man, you ain't lying.
Yeah, back in 2009 also there was a lot of different people presenting indie soul,
Yeah.
Between Pam and Detrell and Damn Good Music. I'm talking about New York City, that is, in the tri-state area, y'all. Mm-hmm. And Sarah Hill. That was my first exposure, was through Sister Factory.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was 90, 99, 98.
Okay.
And I went to go see Sandra St. Victor and Indira Khan, Shaka's daughter, and Bimshi and M. And Sarah Hill was putting that show on. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah, I like this. I like this vibe. I like what's going on here. I like the music. I'm like, So 10 years later, 10 years later, I said, well, let me get on it. And Darien was one of those first people to grace that stage, a little small, intimate place. And then from there, we went on. Mm-hmm. And Darien has gone on. He's been all around the world.
Yeah. I've been pretty fortunate, and I'm continuing to keep rocking that out, man. That's been probably one of the greatest things for me, in addition to obviously being a conduit for the art, has been the experience of traveling and meeting new people who love music all over the world. That experience has opened me up musically. It's changed my tastes in a lot of ways. It's changed the way I present, you know what I mean? Because different places I realized, hey man, like you can't go to the UK and don't do some up-tempo joint. Like I can't anyway. They know me for that. So by the time, as we talked about with the song structure, my shows are very much have a structure where I'm gonna take you on a ride. I always tell people, I'm like, look, this is not just like a crooner stand there in the front of a mic kind of show. We're gonna go through some emotions up here. I'm gonna take you through some love. There's always a bit of that, and then some soul music. But we're gonna have some conversations about what's going on in the world today, what's going on in the world from the past. We're gonna party a little bit. We're gonna get up out of our seats, and we're gonna do some different things. And by the end of the show, you get this whole experience, at least that's what I hope. And that's what I've been trying to bring. And that came as a result of traveling, because recognizing like the what people really, really hone into and things that I loved anyway. So I was like, oh, I could do a funk record out here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a funk record. So yeah, man, it's been a beautiful thing, man. And of course it doesn't hurt to see all the beauty of the world, man. That's one of the greatest perks of, I think, being able to do this, it's been a beautiful thing.
And the funny thing, you was talking about the different things you do on your shows, and I was thinking about your albums. Each one has a little inspirational song on there too. Like the last song on there is not really a church song, but it gives you a little inspiration. So it's even a format to how you put your albums together.
I like to leave people with some thoughts. With some, I like to leave people with the things I need, if I'm being honest. Like, I talk about a lot of the things that I'm fearful of in my music because it helps me to get past my own fears. I talk about a lot of the things I'm hopeful for because it gives me hope. I talk about love in different forms because it's what I need, what I give, what I receive, what I've heard. A lot of those things are just stories that people tell me. And I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful story. I bet a lot of people would relate to that. So I want to turn it into something. I want to take your story and turn it into art. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's I guess that's as much a formula as I've had, but it's more, it's just a kind of like a resculpting of whatever comes my way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And do you write most of the songs lyrically, and do you play a piano? I mean, do you play an instrument, anything?
So I am first and foremost a lyricist. I actually consider myself a songwriter, singer. I always tell people that because the word is paramount for me. It's like the first and foremost thing. I know a lot of, listen, we're in New York, and a lot of the folks I know a lot of singing people, you know what I mean? So I'm very thankful for my gifts as a singer, but I really feel like my pen is where a lot of my talents lie. So I start there. As far as production is concerned, I have a very grand idea about how I want a lot of the things done. But once again, I know people who can play. So I'll get my little basics down, and then from there, I get some of the greatest musicians to get involved because they always bring the process up 50,000 times where I would get it from, you know what I mean? And oftentimes it actually starts to become something even bigger than I planned when I get them involved, because obviously their gift lends to my gift and we build something brand new. So I have some basic skills. And when it comes to mixing and editing, I'm really hands-on with that though, because that's the time where I get to take all the raw materials and I get to really sculpt, it's like now I can shape it exactly. I can change arrangements. I can decide where I'm going to do drops. It's funny, even when you played Composure, I was thinking about how long it took me to mix that record. I mixed it in conjunction with someone, but I was like meticulous. Everything was like, okay, that note, this has to tuck under here. And that was just, I was learning, actually at that time. It was like the beginning of, and this from a lot of the people, and I'm sure a lot of the podcasts, the interviews you've been doing, a lot of what indie soul people have done is out of necessity. It's not like everybody wanted to be an engineer or a vocal arranger. We just didn't want to pay the extra bill. So like my initial ownership of a studio was based off of like, I can't afford to go into the studio on a regular, and I want to be able to cut vocals when I want to be able to cut them. And I want to be able to edit things and not pay somebody every time I want to do like I want to bring the volume down on this thing. I was like, I got to learn this at the very least. So when I do work with people, I could be fast. And honestly, it also helped in the beginning stages because people would tell me things that couldn't be done. And I was like, bro, I can do this in my house. So it can be done, trust. But anyway, but yeah, so I start with the word, I build from there, and I just bring in as many amazing people as I can to help me actualize my vision from an auditory standpoint and a visual, as we started to get into music videos and things like that. So it's a team effort at the end of the day. Hey,
you just reminded me of something when you said it came on of necessity. And I was thinking about when I started this podcast, I was like, all right, I want to start a podcast, but I don't know nothing about starting a podcast. Right. I don't know what equipment I need. I don't know anything. Mm-hmm. So I know Led did a podcast. So I said, let me call her. I said, I'm going to start this podcast. She said, I don't know. Ask my husband. So she put her husband on, Ron. And he said, well, you need a Rode. You need this. You need this mic. You need blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, okay. And even when I got all that stuff, I was still looking at it like, all right, what I do with it now. So then I started reading and watching videos and now I got it.
Well, I commend you for taking it through, because I know a lot of people during the pandemic bought a lot of equipment. Let me tell you, folks was on their equipment game. I was like, oh, he's a DJ now? I was like, oh, he's a DJ now? I was like, he's a DJ now? So, and a lot of people didn't actually actualize what they were doing either. So I commend you definitely for doing that. And also let's talk about how you just dropped Lettucey's name like nothing. I was talking to Led the other day. Hey man, I mean, listen, you ain't got to flex on me. I understand.
But I know so that's why.
Shout out to Lettucey.
Shout out to Led. I love you, girl.
And it's funny. And I told you this story before, man, but I will never. This story forever is crazy for me because we talking about way back now since we dealing with the backstory. Before Lettucey became Lettucey, I heard her voice before, and I was like most people when they first hear her, I was in shock. And I remember reaching out to her, but I didn't know how to spell her name. somebody just told me, there's this, that. I said, who is this? Who is this? They said, Lettucey. I said, Lettucey? And they said, yeah, Lettucey. So I sent her a message and I said, lettuce, Lettuce -E. I swore it was Lettucey. The person who said it to me. So it was terrible, but luckily my compliments were overshadowed the fact that her name was jacked to the business. But I'll always forever refer to her as Lettucey in my mind. But that's good that you said lead. If the person had said lead, then I might have been like, oh, is it not spelled like lettuce? They said, I don't know. But anyway, shout out to Lettucey though.
But that was the same thing. I mean, even when I first heard her music, I'm like, God, who is this girl? And a friend of mine, Jason, he said, oh, her name is Ladisi.
Oh, see? But even that would have been better. I would have at least got closer. Ladisi, I would have figured something out.
So,
yeah, man.
So that's what we call Sarah Hill that was doing Sister Factory. I said, this girl named Ladisi? She said, her name ain't Ladisi, it's Lettucey.
See, but I would have went in there, Lettucey. They'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, see, I know who she is. Lettucey, Lettucey.
But yeah, that was what, 2000 or something like that. Mm. So right when that first album, Soul Singer, first hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yep.
So once again, shout out to Lettucey. Mm-hmm. And congratulations on everything that you are achieving this year. From Grammys to opening the Hollywood Bowl. All that good stuff.
Jumped. It was a nice little jump. I was happy to see someone with so much talent and skill get recognized, because we don't always have that in this business. A lot of times folks get overlooked, and folks with immense amount of talents, you wonder, like, how is this happening that this person's not getting their shine? And I'm glad that she's getting hers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. Mm-hmm. Let's go to, because I was thinking about another song that was, I think this one is even before your album, If These Walls Can Talk, Alibi. Now,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, right? So how did you hook up with that? And did you write the lyrics to that song?
Yeah. So Alibi, shout out to Real People. They actually reached out to me based on some music I had on MySpace at the time. We're going back. So I had some stuff on there, and they hit me up and they were like, hey, we'd love to have you come out to London and write with us. Now, at that point, I wasn't traveling at all. I had been to London before, but not on the music business. So I was like, I'm from New York, so I'm a skeptic. Like somebody said they're going to send me a ticket. I'm like, all right, yeah, when it come out, whatever. But they sure enough did. They set it up. I wasn't really familiar with them, actually, to be real with you. I mean, I grew up in the house scene. I did choreography. I was dancing and all that, but I wasn't, I just listened to the beats. I didn't really know who was who. So I went out there. I worked with Mike Pato and Ali Lazarus, doing the thing. And yeah, I wrote all the stuff that I did with them. I wrote, we had a really small window, and it was really studio to hotel. My first experience really jamming with other people, because, a lot of times as an indie, you're on your own timeline. Like, I'm writing songs, but I'm writing them with me. So, I could take a nap, I could get up, I could whatever. With this, it was like, I was on the job, I had to show up, we getting started right away. And, also, I felt personally, I always want to do a good job for folk. Y'all flew me out here. I'm not going to say for play. Right. So we wrote quite a few songs, actually. We wrote, I think in the time period, I might've wrote maybe 6 songs or something with them. And I think 3 of them came out. And then one of them is actually on Destinations, oddly enough, all these years later, what I wrote anyway. Yeah, man, that was a great experience with those cats. And it's funny, I just saw a video came on my timeline the other day from my IG, people doing choreography in somewhere in South America, to Alibi. And
I saw that.
It's such a beautiful thing, because it's like, just to have a song that has that amount of life to it and still going, it's great. You love to be involved in stuff like that. And again, to be involved with other folks in another area, this is part of the thing with the travel. You get to link with other people and expand your sound. Alibi wasn't part of my repertoire as far as sounds were concerned at the time. And then later on, I used those same skill sets to do different things with my stuff. Like I did a song with Omar that kind of touches on that kind of stuff, so yeah, it's all growth, man. It's all growth.
I'm going to play the original version before the house version.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
Because I like the original version because it has a little Latin feel to it.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
So I'm gonna play the original version Alibi. So check this out, y'all.
Won't you be mine? Be my alibi. Won't you be mine? Say, now in the streets, they're up to something, but they don't speak. They'll tell you nothing. I know they're loving, waters are bubbling, and we best to go before they overflow. So I guess we're on the run, but with you it's twice as fun. 'Cause I know the best is yet to come, as we spend all our days out from the sun and by end of the night. End of the night. We can spend some time sipping some wine. Sipping some wine. You know what I like. You're my delight. You're my delight. If love's a crime, be my alibi. They found a heart that's broken, but had no witnesses. Many fingers pointed, but never showed a print. All the kingdom's horses and all the kingdom's men didn't seem concerned to know who might be innocent. 'Cause they're looking for a name, you know, someone to take the blame, and a place to put their pain in. After all of this time, we were still standing here, and I can't deny, I crossed the line, I'd pay the fine, I'd sacrifice, I'd do my time, if love's a crime, be my alibi. If they come looking for me, I know just where I'm gonna be. I'll be with you. Alright. If they come looking for me, I know just where I'm gonna be. I'll be with you, baby. Now, be my We're having fun now. We're on the run now. Just when we're having fun now. We're on the run now. We're having fun now. If they come looking for me, I know just where I'm gonna be. I'll be with you, baby. Be mine. Be mine. If they come looking for me, I know just where I'm gonna be. Yeah. Oh Lord, yeah.
That's just fire right there.
You know, and again, I don't get to listen to these joints on a regular, but one of the things I'll add with travel, and that was, man, there's a little breakdown there where the timing changes up a bit, like we're in the mid section, and doing that live in all over the world. You know, it's funny when the bands in different locations get it and they're like, wait, hold on. Wait, this part right here, you know, so you know it's a joint because they be working on it, and when we get it live, it's just magic every time.
And I can imagine the people just losing it. Yeah, that's the part right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like yeah, man, it's great.
And I mean, I'm about to say this. I mean, I can hear your Stevie Wonder all in your voice. I mean, who hasn't Stevie influenced? But
yeah. Oh, I mean, listen, man, and that's a big part of the reason why, again, you know, when I talk about, you know, songwriting and all this other stuff, you know, we are a product of the people that, you know, we aspire to be, or we look up to, and everything like that. You know, I've listened to a lot of Stevie, I've listened to a lot of Michael, a lot of there'll be some cuts coming out soon where people will know about some of my reggae influences. You know, a lot of Bob when I was coming up, a lot of hip hop. So all of these things kind of come together into like a little cocktail, little smoothie, if you will, of you know, what it is. Of course, again, changed by the pen, you know, because everybody's pen is a bit different. So yeah, but definitely on that one. And they were really looking for that sound. That's why they reached out to me to begin with, because that record was called 7 Ways to Wonder. And they had a lot of different kind of Stevie influenced, you know, things on there, from even the chord changes, a lot of the different songs that were very much in that vibe. So at that time, especially, that's what they were coming to me for at the time. I think since then I've kind of like gotten a little bit more into my full on lane, because when I started to experiment in other things, I was like, oh, this is more my voice here and there. But definitely at that time, man, you know, that's we were channeling that. We were definitely channeling the great one.
Well, it was definitely there, and now to hear you and Stevie on this Mike Phillips song.
Yeah. Buddy. Yeah. Yeah, that was as close to a dream come true, other than me being in the studio with Stevie. But you know, I tell people I don't like to flex on it, but I was like, yo, I get to toss to him. I was like, my verse coming
right to it, right?
I was like, yes. I was like, Mike, thank you for the placement. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to play that one.
Indeed.
You want to hear that one? Let's play that one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Here it is, called Flavor in Your Hair. Hey, wait a second. Who is doing those harmonies?
That's Naturally 7.
That's Naturally. Oh yeah. Okay,
I mean, that whole album is like a who's who of everybody. PJ Morton's on there, Eric Robeson, Avery Sunshine. Man, there's so many people on that record.
Leela James.
Leela James. I can't even, in my mind right now, I'm blanking, but there's so many incredible people, which is a testament to Mike as well, you know, all the people that he knows and he's close with, and even getting it shot during the pandemic. Cause you know, that was a beautiful thing too. You know, he hit me up. He was like, hey man, we trying to do a music video. I was like, how? You know? And then he was like, we're getting everybody to shoot their part and stuff. And I got to see it when it was done. So I was like, oh, this is great. You know,
right. I come right before Stevie.
Yeah, right before Stevie. I was like, okay.
Yes. So we're going to play a little Flavor in Your Ear. And it's definitely flavorful, boy. If you don't like this song, something wrong with you.
Here comes a brand new flavor in your ear. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Just like you in the blab, robotic kick the flab. My flavor be the batter, chitter chatter, matter than the Mad Hatter.
Bet your mash become a fatter. Got the day to turn your body fatter.
Just like a piece of sizzling. Spend time in stomach with the edge and grits between. The king is what I mean. Man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up.
Let's make it official. MCs need tissue. My issue.
And I bet you might go off like a missile.
No more underwater on the toss climbing as I make the funky kicking. I'm more harder than a diamond. If you didn't know who played that, you better pay attention when we say that.
Brand new flavor,
You won't be around next year. Rap to the beer, kicking that flavor in your ear. Here comes a brand new flavor in your ear. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear.
Mike's a brand new flavor.
Used to get mad and get more but than that shit. Forget the fair ones, I get mine the fast way. Ski mask way, leaving ransom notes. Far from handsome, but you know a brother, so what you talk? More guns and roses, frozen myself, you're inspiring.
Don't be mad, UPS is hiring.
You know you should have been a cop for Get Bebop, but that sax playing, you better get shot.
Not from Houston, but I rap a lot. Pack the sax a lot. My Philly's about to drop.
Yeah, baby, that's just bad.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes. So, what can you say about that song? I mean, shoot.
Well, I can tell you one thing that's very interesting for me. I met Mike before I was even singing, actually. We met on the train, and I had a manual. I was in a hip hop group at the time, which is why this is such a full circle moment. I mean, hip hop is my thing. So, when Craig Mack passed, and Mike said he was doing this, I guess, homage to him with the song, was a beautiful thing. So, but going back to when I met Mike, I was on the Metro North, headed into work. I was on my way into the city, and I had a manual for a mixer that I had, and I was working with a hip hop group trying to learn how to not have to pay to mix at the time. And he started to talk to me. He's like, "Oh, I was a Yamaha 03D. I'll never forget." He said, "You got a Yamaha 03D?" I said, "Yeah." And he had his horn with him, and we talked for the little 20-minute train ride. And he invited me to, at the time, it wasn't the Village Underground, but Ron Grant was at another place called, I think it was Blue Angel or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but there was like a whole other world that I found out through Mike, which was Melanie Daniels, all these amazing singers in New York. And again, at this time, I was really just rhyming and dancing. I wasn't singing. And I literally, he kind of started my career, to be real, in that regard, because I was in that space and I had only seen hip hop guys freestyle. I hadn't really seen singers do it like that. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't seen singers do it with that level of skill. I mean, these are people who were like, I remember the first night I went, somebody parked their car illegally in front of like the driveway. And I don't remember who the host was, but he was singing about it. He was like, "If you got a white car parked in the damn," and it was like, and then there was like harmony and stuff. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, how? He read off the license plate number, made it rhyme somehow. I was like, how are you doing this? And from then it was like, it kind of put a battery in my back. And I was already experimenting with harmonies with my hip hop group anyway. We're doing kind of like a Fugees thing at the time, but this kind of pushed me into another space. And I kept in contact with Mike over the years. I went to more shows of his. I saw him. I asked him about his circular breathing, because, Mike could do that. He'll hold the note for 50 minutes. I was like, "Yo, bro, you gotta tell me this is some magic," So I had that conversation with him. Several years later, when I became a soul singer and like was on tour and doing things, we met in Atlanta at the Soul Summit. And it was crazy because we're both on the same panel. Now, I hadn't spoken to Mike in a little while. So he was looking at me like, "Hey, what you doing here?" You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Oh, bro, I put out a soul record and everything." He was like, "You did what?" Because he knew me as the mix engineer with the rap group. So it was such a dope thing. And then forward even further, I have a song with him on Destinations as well. So this is how, and then he called me up for this project. And, it's been great to one, be, in a way mentored by people that are your peers that are amazing. And to know people that like, this dude's played with Prince. He's played with Stevie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's my boy. It's kind of like a wild thing. And also to be inspired by the people that are cool with. He was definitely a big inspiration to me. So shout out to Mike. And that's what I got to add to that. That's
well, you put the cherry on the top of that one.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Phillips. I mean, an incredible artist, incredible.
Yeah, indeed.
So I mean, I know how you feel. I'm like, I'm on it. Like, I'm not even singing. But I'm honored that I'm able to get in contact with these people that, have influenced me. Right. And if I don't have their number, I'm sure I can call somebody and somebody knows the number, you know?
Right. Right, exactly.
So, to have that, less than 6 degrees of separation from almost anybody that you have been
Influenced by,
yeah.
Yeah.
Inspired by.
Inspired, even better, inspired, no doubt.
So, but I started out singing a little bit.
True. Okay, this a whole new thing. I didn't even know that was what's up. Okay.
You didn't know? Yeah, I sing a little bit. I used to start singing around. Matter of fact, Jason King. You know Jason King?
No, I don't think I know Jason King.
Right now, Jason King is the dean. I don't know if he's the dean or I forgot what his title is, but he's like the head honcho at the Clive Davis School of Music.
Oh, cool. All right.
New York University.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to be part of this singing ensemble. Well, it was a performance ensemble. And we used to do these shows around the city.
Oh, cool.
And originally it was called The Pact.
Mm.
And Jason was our producer.
All right.
And so I started out doing that. And then I started doing my own shows. Sometimes, I used to go to Lundell's and sing. But I used to do that. And then I got a job at Transit Authority. You don't have that much time then.
Yeah, the job will take you out. That's for sure. No doubt.
So I really stopped singing. But then I was still into it. I was still into my music and my people. Mm-hmm. So then I had a website for Shaka Khan back in the late 90s.
Oh, for real? That I did not know. Okay.
Yeah. And it was called Shaka's House.
Mm-hmm.
And originally somebody else had it, and then they became saved, and they said, I can't do it anymore because I can't listen to secular music and blah, 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 blah. They said, would you take it over? Now, I didn't know anything about a computer. Computers were just coming out. I didn't own one. I had web TV or something like that.
Right.
So I called this gentleman named Anders Ringman, who was also on this website as a fan of Shaka's. And I said, Anders, Marcus asked me to take over this website, but I don't know how to update anything. He said, I know how to do it. He said, you'll send me all the information and I'll update it. I said, okay. So that's when we changed the name to Shaka's House because she had the album out with Prince, Come to My House. Mm-hmm. So it was like, oh, perfect. Shaka's House. That's what we're called.
Teamwork make the dream work.
So what happened is that all these artists were on it, talking about Shaka. So, Mesa was on there and I was like, Mesa, I only know one Mesa. I said, is this Mesa from Incognito? She's like, yeah, baby. I was like, oh, you bad, girl. She said, well, come on down to my show. So she invited me to go see her in Incognito.
Wow.
So I went to go see him and we hung out. And then there was Tony Smith on there, God rest her soul, Funkin' for Jamaica.
Yeah.
And she was on. I was like, this Funkin' for Jamaica? Yeah, come on down to the Y and see me. Come on down to Cafe Y. All right, so I went down to Cafe Y, and then I started getting my foot in the door with all these different artists.
Nice.
And then that's how it started. It all started with the Shaka Khan website.
Well, that's a good place to start. That's a good place to start, man.
And then when I went to go see Shaka, I told her sister was her manager at the time. And I said, hey, I'm Troy Saunders. I'm the webmaster of Shaka's House. And she's like, oh, my God, we love that website. That website is better than ours. Wow. She said, here's my number. Call me if you need anything. Shoot, I was smooth sailing after that.
Right. Exactly. You got the link to the Soul Sister #1. There you go.
So that's how all this happened. Then Led came into the picture and wound up meeting her. And so, by 2009, I was ready to start a little something.
Right.
And you know what? I'm still thinking about singing something, a little something.
Do it, brother. No time like the present, man.
Especially now when you have the time where you can, promote yourself. You bought
the equipment. Now you got the equipment for the podcast. You might as well put it to work.
Right. I'm going to start singing into this mic, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. But back to you. I'm sorry. I'm getting all off the subject. But what I love about this, it's a conversation. It's not like I'm just interviewing you. I'm like a friend of mine says, what I learned about this, what I like about your podcast, I learned something about you too.
Right,
it's not just one-sided conversation. Let's go back again. I'm looking at all in me.
Oh, okay. With Angela Johnson.
Yeah. Yes, now see, y'all did that earlier too.
Oh, you playing the remix? Okay.
No, I was gonna play the original.
Oh yeah. Okay,
I was gonna play the original because now the remix is out this year.
Yeah. But you know, we've had a few remixes of this joint,
right?
Which is kind of cool also to see things be brought back up. But All of Me is a special song because, again, I relate a lot of things to my travels, and it was really my first international tour with another artist. She brought me on tour to Tokyo, and we did the Cotton Room out there, and that was actually really good exposure because I had never dealt with a crowd like that. Like, they're really quiet. Like, they don't make, and she told me before, and she said, listen, they're not going to make any noise during the show. So don't get stressed if they're not clapping or they're not like even emotional. That's just not how they do it. At the end is when they do it. It's a sign of respect. And again, you know, this is how you learn about the world. Like, when I've had people not clap during the show in the Bronx. That's not some people. They don't like it. That's not a thing of respect. That's like, we're not feeling you. Do better, you know. So this was a totally different thing, and I never forgot. You know, it was one of the first lessons that I got, and I got to once again be mentored by somebody who was seasoned. You know, Angela had been all over the world, not just as Angela Johnson, but with Cooley's Hotbox. So, you know, working with her was a great experience, and working with her on this song was different because, again, it was a different style from what I do, you know, and I was able to see how other people received it because live the song was always crushing, you know, it was a big number, you know, so, and continues to be. I mean, I can't remember last time we did it, but it wasn't like that long ago. I remember, like, I've been on stage with her not too long ago. So again, big introduction, but All of Me is a special song. Shout out to Angela Johnson.
Shout out to Angela.
Yeah, indeed.
I love her. Her energy, everything. She's just the sweetest person in the world.
Absolutely.
You know? I remember, matter of fact, she did one of our shows too. And unfortunately, it was torrential rains coming down. It was a bad weather day. And she felt so bad because there was not a lot of people there. And I said, it's not your fault, girl. She said, you don't have to pay me. I'm saying, no, I'm paying you. You came out here in this rain.
That's love right there, yeah.
You know, I said, I'm paying you. I'm like, I don't know, you know, I don't care. I don't know what the other people do.
But, well, the other people, they don't bet. A lot of times, let's be clear. So you're clear about that.
You know, but that's what Trina Bouchard says. She said, you know, one thing, you know, I'm going to tell anybody that if you call to do the show, do it. Because Troy don't play. He going to pay you no matter what. I said, well, tell him.
Yeah, okay.
You know, because I know how it is. You know, you want to get paid.
I mean, you know, we put the work in, you know, I mean, it is unfortunate. You know, I've had situations where, like, the last time I went, not the last time, it was a while back, but I was in the UK and we had sold out this place 2 times in a row. So it was like, I was feeling like, yo, we're going to kill it. And the promoter gave us 2 nights and he was like, you know, the ticket sales are good, but, you know, we were hoping like it would get closer to a sellout. And he said, but what we realized was Erykah Badu and some other people and whatever had put something on the same night. Now we booked this long in advance, you know how it works. But you know, obviously she's in town doing what she's doing. So it dispersed the ticket sales a bit. We still had a full house, wasn't like a sold out house, but sometimes this happens, you know, and as performers, we feel bad too, because we want everybody, first of all, we want to entertain as many people as possible. Second of all, we want the promoter and we want the venue to get their due so that we can come back and we can all continue to make money together. That's the whole thing. But sometimes it's unfortunate when people that are promoting are not as, I guess, as gracious as you were, because, you know, they feel like, oh, well, because as performers, we come to do it. We came to do the job. It's not like we're going to perform any less because there's less people. So anyway, shout out to y'all for being on top of it and paying Angela on a rainy day.
Well, once again, y'all, excuse me. Once again, here we go with All in Me. Check it out.
My love, I think about it more than I show you how much I appreciate you. But starting tonight, it's all gonna change right now.
Baby love, my baby love, how can I make it good for you? Cause you're the one that I adore. Loving you is so easy to do. I wanna hold you, feel you, please loving me, and I'll make you see you. I'm so glad that you're mine. I keep you satisfied. You can have all in me.
Baby love, my only love. I wanna try something new with you. Tonight I'll be all your fantasies. Make every dream and wish of yours come true. Because you heal me, thrill me, make me so happy. Baby, say oh, it's too good to be true. The way you make me feel, never stop loving me. And you'll hear me say oh, I'm so glad that you're mine. Wanna keep you satisfied. You can have it all in me. Now, baby,
Oh, girl,
there's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do for you.
for you,
I just love to make you smile.
only wanna make you smile.
Just tell me what you want me to do, baby.
I'll make sweet love to you.
I wanna hold you,
Feel you.
please you.
I love it when you make me say oh. It's too good to be true. The way you make me feel. Never stop loving me.
Never stop, never stop. I'm so glad that you're mine. Wanna keep you satisfied. You can have it all in me.
I'll make you wanna say
It's just too good to be true. The way you make me feel, never stop loving me. Oh, you make me wanna say it, baby. You make me wanna say it, baby.
I'm so glad that you're mine. Wanna keep you satisfied. You can have it all in me. Hey.
You can have it all in me. Everything.
Yeah. I love that song.
Man, you bringing me back on all of these joints, man. I remember when I did the first set of vocals, I can't remember where I was traveling to. I was somewhere, and I was in Florida actually. And Angela said, "Hey, you think you could do me a favor and do some more ad libs for me and give me some falsetto notes and stuff like that?" And I was like, "Sure, okay." I'll go home. And she was like, "Do some like Princey kind of vibe stuff." And if I'm being real, I'm more of a Stevie Michael head, so I don't have as much Prince in my repertoire. I do a little bit more now, but really falsetto wasn't something that I played with too hard at the time. I was really, I was really in my first tenor bag. I really liked singing with power in first tenor. So we ended up doing this song, and I sent her a lot of parts that I was like, she ain't gonna use. Like I was all them high note stuff. I was like, man, she probably gonna listen to this, be like, this crazy. And then she went in and she ended up harmonizing to a lot of that stuff, and like she did this fantastic arrangement around it. And I was like, wow, okay. But let me tell you, every night when I had to hit that high note, I was stressed. I was like, do I got it tonight? Where we at with it? There was a lot of tea in them days. I was like,
Okay.
but yeah, no, it turned out beautiful. It was lovely. We got to do a nice run. It was pretty big in DC. So we did that little circuit. We did up at CT Bayou, did some Connecticut stuff, some Jersey stuff. And man, that song has seen a lot of life, man. As you said, there's a remix out now again. And,
Yeah, right.
It's been a lot. I watch people. Sometimes you work on a song and you don't know the effect it's going to have on people because you're in the studio, and until you do it live, then you really see it. And I saw it take people back. I saw, and this is all Angela. Like, there are very few songs that I've done that I didn't write, but I didn't write this song. I came in just as a vocalist. This is all Angela from top to bottom. You know, even when she sent it to me, she had all the parts worked out. But I didn't understand the song until we did it live. You know, I was like, oh, this kind of like a throwback kind of ish, you know, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. But the first time we did it live, I loved it because I saw what it did to people. I saw how our interaction was reminiscent of, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of that nowadays anymore, you know, like male, female, like duets where they're like singing to each other and hitting the harmonies and stuff. So, yeah, man, I really grew to love that song and love what it meant for people. A lot of people, I actually met my booker, my overseas booker, and I don't think Angela even knows this, so I got to tell her, I met her due to that song. Because she heard this song in Germany, on the radio in Germany. And she said she fell in love with the record. And she was like, I got to find out who this is on the record. And for over a year, she looked out and then she finally got in contact with me. And then from then on is history and a lot of my history, because I ended up working with her on most of my tours in Europe. So, and beyond, actually, she booked me in India. She booked me in Southeast Asia. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's wild, like to put when you put the dots together, of how it all comes together, you know. Yeah,
it's crazy how it, you know, one thing leads to another.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, shoot, since we talking about duets, let's go on down the duet line.
All right.
All right. Let's do Avery.
Oh, yes.
Sunshine. Let's do that one.
Indeed.
And then, of course, we're going to then go to Tiffany.
Oh, definitely.
Let's do them all. So and then there's a little part with you and Shay Fio.
Oh, true. Okay. Nobody ever really speaks on that joint, but that's yeah, absolutely. Well, little joint that I throw up in there. Absolutely. I have such a love for her voice.
Well, Shay got a little, I got a thing for Shay because she did one of our shows also.
Absolutely.
So what was it? Was she on the show with you? Was it the same show?
Did she? No. She wasn't on the show with me. But I know, I was following her around for a while before I hit her up for this. I mean, I was literally I'm using her for something. I don't know what, but I'm using her for something.
Yeah. I'm just so happy to see all those people that was on those shows and now still doing it and, making their mark.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep, indeed.
So we're going to go to Someone Is You with Avery Sunshine. And, how did that, matter of fact, I know how it came together, but I want you to tell the people that might not know.
Well,
I heard on another interview.
Yeah, I know, right? That came together actually when I was doing a show with Angela Johnson. I was doing a show with Angela Johnson in, in Jersey. I'm messing this up now. What show was it? It was Damn Good Music Movement, I think. I believe so. We were doing a show. Avery, I was already familiar with her stuff. She's amazing. And that night, I met with her and I met Dana and, her husband and musical collaborator and everything. I just fell in love with her voice and her energy. And I wrote Someone Is You with her in mind without even having conversation with her. I was like, I'm writing a song for Avery Sunshine. I'm going to pitch it to her. And we just going to let God do the rest. You know what I mean? And I wrote it. I voiced the whole thing, kind of like what Angela did for me. I did the exact same thing. I sent it to her and I was like, please don't. No, I was just like, I hope she digs it. I hope she's interested in it. And it was great. She got right back to me. They loved the song. And they were like, we went back and forth for a little while because her schedule was busy, but everything happens in its due time. And then she ended up cutting the record for that. And man, the rest was history, and then fast forward later on, I did an opening for her at City Winery, and we just it's all a constant thing where we're planets that are moving and revolving and evolving, but kind of coming in contact at least in each other's orbits. You know what I mean? From time to time, which is great.
I love that.
Indeed.
So we're gonna play Someone Is You. If y'all don't know this song, check it out. You're gonna know it now.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a world with heartache and pain. Searching for sun to drive out the rain. Yeah. once in a while you come to depend on someone who you rightfully call a friend, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm happy that I found someone, hey, baby, that brings me balance when my days ain't going right. Someone that's honest, honest and true, yeah. I'm thankful for someone, and that someone is you.
We share a bond that's almost surreal. And I feel secure when you're at the wheel. Ooh. Needless to say, I know that you care. Yes, I do. And I don't even have to ask, can you always appear? And I'm happy that
I found someone,
hey, baby,
that brings me balance when my days ain't going right. Someone that's honest, I can count on. I'm thankful for someone, and that someone is you. As long as you're involved, I know that I got nothing to fear. That's real. No. Just as sure as there's stars in the sky, you shine so bright I see them from here. So I'm thankful,
yeah.
thankful for you.
Thankful, baby.
All right.
Ooh,
Said I'm thankful for you.
me too.
And I'm happy that I found someone.
I'm so happy, baby.
That brings me balance when my days ain't going right. Someone that's honest, I can count on.
Someone.
I'm thankful for someone, and that someone is you. Help me sing that when I needed a hand. Ha. You are my friend, yeah. When I needed to smile, you brought the sunshine in my life, yeah.
And I don't want for nothing, yeah. As long as I got you in my life, baby, do you hear me singing, baby?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes, that's a badass song there.
So, I got stories for all the songs. I mean, it just is what it is. But this was an interesting one because you played the remix. So the funny thing is that remix almost didn't make the record. And I'm going to tell you, I needed another cut on there for a Japanese album release. They had asked me, they said, listen, they oftentimes want to have a different set of cuts. So I was in Australia. I was on a fishing boat on the Great Barrier Reef at this time. And I had reached out to Sean Hibbler. Shout out to him. He did the remix and the original. I said, listen, man, I need a remix for this song. Can you cook something up? And we've been going back and forth a little bit. And my connection was slower than 2G. When I tell you, I mean, slow. So he sends me this track and I literally have to approve it and get it mastered and everything like that. But I'm on this fishing boat I'm on the Great Barrier Reef, whatever. And I waited maybe an hour to download the song because it was coming down at like 2 kilobytes at a second. Like, you know what I mean? And when I finally heard it, the first time I heard that version of the song, I was on a fishing boat we were doing scuba out there. And that's when I heard it. And I was like, yeah, we can go with that. We can go with that one. And that's how it ended up being on the record because it was like a deadline and there was no time for me to come back and really do too much or whatever the case is. So that song also has an interesting story. They all do. As indie, because you have your hands in so much, you know so much of the stories. I mean, I think like sometimes if you just come in as a vocalist, you cut your vocal, you keep it pushing. But when you have your hands in every aspect of it, from production to, marketing to performance to touring, scheduling and everything like that, there's a lot of stories, because it's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts.
Well, I like hearing all the stories. That's what makes this podcast so interesting, hearing what behind the scenes on everything.
Right.
What we got next? Tiffany.
Tiffany Sullivan.
Yeah.
Now you want to talk about a million stories. I got a million stories with Tiffany because Tiffany has been with me from the jump. She's one of my best friends. In addition to one of the most talented musicians that I know, singers, arrangers, she's just fantastic. And really in the beginning parts of me figuring out who I was as an artist, she was the rock for me, because like I had different band members, but Tiffany was always there. Whenever she was there, which was pretty much all the time, I always felt sure in what I was doing because, when I started, I don't come from a church background as far as singing or any training, none of that stuff. I just did it from my love of music, from listening, things like that. But Tiffany's ear is like insane. So I would make a lot of mistakes, when I would be doing what I was doing live. There's parts where I'm supposed to harmonize with the background vocalist, but then I'm like caught in my moment. So I'm starting to do leads and stuff. And she always knew how to augment whatever I was doing. She'd be like, oh boy, he's singing the lead now. Let me go do whatever, and she would always get us right, get us on point. Her energy, whenever I would feel like a little funny, if I just look over and she's in my corner, I was solid, always. So fast forward to Tiffany now doing, or Tizelle, let me say Tizelle at this point, working on her solo project, which I was pushing for a really long time. When it was time for her project to come out, she was like, or when she was working on it, I should say, she said, I'm really looking forward to taking on my own artistry, but I'm going to miss working with you a lot, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to miss working with you too, but I want to see you get the spoils you deserve. I want to see you get that because you deserve it. So she approached me with this idea to do the last song, our last song kind of together, and she hit me. She was like, I think we should do this song, like last song. And because of all the vibes and the memories and everything, it was such an easy thing to write for me. Like she had a piece of what she was going to work with, but like as soon as she told me the idea, I was like, okay, cool. And I went off and I was like, it was probably within a couple of hours. I said, yo, Tiff, boom. And we started to work on it. And thankfully, not to skip parts of the story, but thankfully we were able to go touring all over Europe with that song. And then she was able to build her touring career. She goes over there independently now. She's got her record coming out. So it's just been a beautiful growth thing. And again, it's great when you get to do it with friends, when you get to tour with your friends and people who you struggled with, because we came up together and we did the little shit shows. I'm sorry, but the little shows that was like, we walked away feeling like, man, let's never do that again. So to then get to do it and travel and be seen and have sold out shows, it's great. It was great. So shout out to Tizelle. Shout out also to Avery Sunshine and to Dana from before, but definitely shout out to Tizelle. That's my ace boom bap. She knows it, and that's how I go.
And I can't wait to hear her project.
Yes, indeed.
She's a chirper now. Girl be singing.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely, man.
So we're going to play that song. We're going to play the last song, but it's not going to be the last song for this episode, but we're going to play it right now of Tizelle and Darien Dean.
I'm Letty Green with a call to the dance floor for all of you steppers out there. Fellas, grab your ladies tight. Ladies, make them feel alright, because this is the last song of the night, baby. Or WSRD 33.3, y'all.
Hey, Mr. DJ, I heard you dedicate this last one to the lovers. Well, make this a good one, cause to me it means much more than the others. Oh, me and my baby just agree to disagree. And the way we love each other, we gotta know when to let things be. So I'll put on my stepping shoes, save this dance for me and you. I had a real good time, but now it's time to say goodbye.
I recall how you cured my lonely. And those were the days ships might sail away as they leave for different options. Things had to change, chapters turn a page, but the story's never forgotten. Oh, that's all, baby. Yeah, party's over. Can't believe it's come to this. No. In the meanwhile, we move on. Let's go once more. Can I get one more dance with you? Said we've been here so long, though we walked in alone, we still wound up together.
Would it be so wrong if we prayed that this song would stay on forever? Hey, it's the last song. That's all, baby. Yeah.
Party's over. Guess we gotta go now. In the meanwhile, I don't wanna go.
But it's gotta be more.
I don't wanna be just a friend. No. Well, at least we have tonight. I don't wanna say goodbye. Can we give it one more try? Yeah. I don't wanna say goodbye. Rather give it one more try. Let the record spin again. I don't wanna go home.
Yeah, to me, that's a classic right there.
Yeah, man.
Matter of fact,
I love that joint. A little two-step of music.
Matter of fact,
Shout out to Sean Hibbler once again. He did the production on that. That brother did a lot of really good work for me, man. With me, I should say, man. That's fam right there. So
yeah, he damn sure did it on that.
Mhm.
And how did you get Lenny Green on that?
So that's another story. Tiffany knew Lenny, and I actually, on the first record on If These Walls Could Talk, I used to do this DJ impersonation, Cool Calvin Clay. I was like, Cool Calvin Clay on Saturdays, So originally when we did the song, I actually was doing that part for Lenny, and I was like, Cool Calvin Clay in it, and I was like, man, nah, we could do something else here. And then she knew Lenny. I said, yo, why don't we see if we can get Lenny? He got the smooth voice. He can do all or whatever. And so she hit him up. And oddly enough, we went up to his broadcast. We went to the studio while he was on air. During a song, I had set up in the other room my little computer with my little interface, and I had the little script. I said, hey, I just need you to read this real quick, Lenny, if you could do whatever. And he did like 3-4 takes, and then the rest was history. And then luckily we got him in the video and the whole nine, man. So that's another piece of New York history that we were able to put into that, into that song, which was love. That was love.
I love it. And matter of fact, I want to tell everybody that song is off of the Detours album.
Indeed. Yep.
Okay. So if you don't have Detours, go out and get it. Support independent artists because they need you. They love you. They're doing this for the love. So give them some love back and support. So Detours was the last album that has been released. And before that was, I'm going to get my D's mixed up, Departures.
Exactly.
Now on Departures, that was the Avery Sunshine song.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all go out and get that music. You won't be disappointed. Everything that Darien puts out is off the chain. I haven't heard anything I don't like. So
I love it. That's great. Appreciate it.
Matter of fact, that was making me think of this next song, To the More.
Ah, you played To the More. That's my joy. That's my joy.
I heard that. I said, wait a second. Yeah, I like that. Matter of fact,
different bounce to it. And that's kind of what I was saying too earlier about, there's a triplet kind of thing going on in there that is reminiscent of some of the trap music of today, which trap isn't really my bag per se, but there's always something about something that's going on where you could kind of get a feel for it. And of course, even more paramount on that is I love horns. Horns is like my favorite thing. You know, I mean, I have a song on Detours, which is big band music, Best As Yet. That's got horn sections. I've been trying to have, anytime I can have horns on a song, I'm doing it. So when I heard To The More, once again, Sean Hibbler, shout out to him. He worked with a bunch of other cats. It had elements of this trap, a syncopation, and it had some elements of these horns, obviously, and it was just a funky little bounce to it. So I was like, let's try some things. Detours is a project where I decided as an independent artist, there's no real limitations to what I can do. I don't have a label telling me what I can and can't do. And honestly, I'm influenced by a lot of different things. So, you know, Two Steps song, like last song, Best As Yet is big band song, To The More, kind of like amalgamation of different things. I have other songs on there. Pressure was there's a lot of songs on there, but they were all in different genres and different styles that I think if I was a signed artist might have been a little bit more difficult to pull off because the label probably would have been like, nah, people know you for this, so just stay in your lane. And I was a little nervous putting out the record, if I'm being honest. I was like, man, I wonder if people are going to take to me being so adventurous with my styles. But I think it was pretty much my most successful record, Billboard charted. And I think that has to do a lot with the fact that the pen is the constant, you know what I mean? So the storytelling, that's what I was saying before. I'll go back to that. My pen is going to be consistent throughout the genre. You know, it doesn't matter if we're going to do big band, I'm still going to approach it the same, the same, mentality of songwriting, and there's going to be maybe a bridge or whatever it is. But anyway, that's a big intro to The More, which To The More is one of my favorite cuts. I dig that joint too.
Yeah, so we're going to play To The More. Okay. Check it out, y'all.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Shorty, I'd like to take your hand and bring you around the world like a diplomat visiting foreign land. Show you how it feels when a queen dips her toes into foreign sand. Next time you meet up with your friends, you introduce me as your man. First I gotta take you up to the mall, 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 to the. I gotta level you up to the mall, 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 to the. I know you like life's finer things, yeah. So when we take a hit, ain't no seats, just smoke, get lost inside the haze. Fancy restaurant, leave a tip, hotel, penthouse, we close the shades. And I'll be thanking you long before you get the chance to misbehave. But first I gotta lift you up to the mall, 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 to the. I gotta level you up to the mall, 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 to the. I gotta level you up to the mall, 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 to the. First I gotta level you up to the mall, 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 to the. Shorty, there's levels to this. We making rebel music. Cause once you step into this, you gon' be stepping to this. Teachers explain to students, winners refrain from losing. We were designed to be the irrefuted, undisputed. Certified high, so fly, can't lie. Clear blue skies will be dropping a payload. Know the flow might blow my showtime so good. Angels hand you a halo. Elevate, have a mask where they go. While we master the castles of grace go. If it's cash, take the pounds over pesos. All looking bueno, so how could you say no? To the mall, to the mall, to the mall, to the to the mall, 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 to the. I gotta lift you up to the mall, 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 to the. I gotta level you up to the mall, 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 to the. First I gotta level you up to the mall, 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 to the mall. Whenever you're sure, let's take this plane and fly. Yeah, whatever you want, I guarantee we'll find. Yeah, let's go somewhere warm. I keep you occupied. Yeah, and when you want more, I'm more than qualified. Let me take you to the mall, yeah, yeah. To the mall, 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 to the. I gotta lift you up to the mall, 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 to the. I gotta lift you up to the mall, 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 to the. First I gotta lift you up to the mall, 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 to the mall.
Yeah.
I saw your shoulders shaking. Yeah. I saw the shoulder movement. That's what it is right there. And the funny thing was, the first time I did this joint, I think women thought I was saying to the mall, because I'm gonna level you up. I'm gonna take you to the mall. You know, to the mall, to the mall, to the mall. I said, no, not the mall. That might be a level up, but we're not going to the mall. We're going to the mall.
Yeah, that song, I love it. First time I heard it, I said, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has a mixture of a whole lot of elements in it, you know?
Exactly, man. You know, and that, again, that's one of the luxuries, I guess, of being independent on some levels. You get to do stuff like that. You get to play. I think about how many records we've not gotten to hear from, like, you know, classic musicians that, like, you know, we probably would have loved, but not for the choices that were made in a boardroom or made on, you know, by some people crunching numbers, you know, and the things we missed out on, you know what I mean? That's one of the things with being an indie that's kind of dope. You know, we get to put out whatever we're feeling, you know, and, you know, sometimes it comes with bumps and bruises, because sometimes you put something out and you're like, all right, you know, but for me, I feel like over time, I like to see growth in an artist. You know, I like to see where you came from. Even if I love what you did in the beginning, I want to see what new stories are you telling? You know, what new ways of telling the stories are you doing? So for me, every record is a challenge to kind of reinvent myself on some levels while still remaining like pure and close to where I've been, you know? So I try to just do both.
Well, you're doing it. Okay. Because I mean, from the first album all the way to this one, I mean, I've heard the growth. I hear your voice strength is stronger than it was back then, and different things that you're doing with your voice, and it's just incredible. I love it. I love the growth. I love what you're doing, and I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Know, man. And if any way I can help, you know, I will.
Well, this is helping, man. I mean, getting the word out, having these conversations, even just going back through the catalogs and, like, you know, because sometimes that's the other thing. As indie artists, we're always pushing for the next thing. You know, okay, well, I got to do this, and you know, I know for myself, you know, If These Walls Could Talk was my first record, and it took a lot out of me to do it. You know, was like a big thing. I mean, to jump in, and it was a long record. Also, at that time, I mean, I think there's like 16 cuts on there, so. Yeah. It was a big undertaking for somebody who'd never done that before. And sometimes, you know, we forget about these things as we move forward. So it's good to, like, kind of refresh and be like, yo, that was okay. All right. I remember that, you know, I put that work in. Let's still check for that stuff. So it's well appreciated, man.
I remember your show. You did My Door, Sell Through.
Yes, indeed.
And what's the last song in there? Is it Whole Lot of Love?
Whole Lot of Love.
Whole Lot of Love.
I was getting there. Yeah.
Whole lot of love.
Yeah.
you always usually like kind of end that with, you know, bring the church in the house a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the good places to do it because at your show especially, man, there was some voices in the house that night. I remember, and they just was building up with everything I was doing. I was getting harmony because I actually did have Veronica Dawkins, who I recently saw in LA, fantastic singer as well.
How's
and
she
Darius
doing?
Booker. She's doing great, man. She's doing great.
She living in LA now?
Yeah, she's in LA, man, doing big things too. So that's been great. And Darius Booker, who also is my Ace Boom Bap, he was like on every show. I mean, he was the male version of Tiffany for me, where if I looked over and I saw Darius, I'm like, all right, we're gonna be good. No matter what, even if the sound system's messed up, even if I got a cold, I got the crew. The crew's gonna hold this down. We're gonna be we're gonna be working it out. So yeah.
I love Darius. He's another cool person.
Indeed. Absolutely.
So matter of fact, since let's put a whole lot of love. We're gonna go back.
Okay.
We skipping all over the place. We're gonna go back to a whole lot of love.
All right.
Because it's gonna take me back to 2009 Darien Dean show at Aja.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think I got that on the CD somewhere.
Oh, wow.
I think it's recorded.
I still have some of that stuff posted on my YouTube, man. Some of that stuff was like some of my I did a cover of a Stevie joint. Love's in Need there that was like one of my favorite versions that I've done actually because it was just such a vibe in the house that night and I'm trying to think of who was there, but a lot of great singers were in the house, man. I was actually really intimidated, to be honest. When it first started, I was like, oh, these people are here. But man, it was such a beautiful thing, man. They actually really just helped me release even more because they were so supportive, you know.
That's one thing I liked about those shows. I mean, you never knew who was going to be there. And then when it got even bigger and we was at Gospel Uptown, or it was called GU after it changed to that. And Russell Taylor was the host. And he would jump out into the audience and pass the mic and everybody would just start singing.
Yeah,
oh my God, you just couldn't make that
up. In there was killing vocalists, man. Okay. Absolutely. Yep.
So he's like, wow, this is such an experience. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't even planned. Russell just, went in, did the thing. So shout out to Russell Taylor.
Yes, shout out to Russell, no doubt.
So here we go with a whole lot of love.
Yeah. Whoa. With all of the good times, yeah. Whoa, no. Yeah. I got a story to tell y'all. Oh, yeah. Darling, let me love you. Guard you from pain. Your gloves in the winter time. In your coat in the rain. 'Cause we've seen a whole lot of love, whole lot of pain in our lives, and we're due for some love again. We'll sing together. I'll write you a song. Call it true love lasts forever. And it should be that long. Well, we've seen the whole lot of love in our lives, and we're due for some love again. Help me sing, yeah, y'all. Help me sing it. Oh. Sing, yeah. Oh. I know about it, baby. Whole lot of love, say, oh. Yeah. We've seen a whole lot of love in our lives, and we're due for some love. Said I feel it in my bones, I feel it in feel it in my soul. Let's start a family, a new branch on the tree, watered with some affection. After planting all seeds, yeah. We've seen a whole lot of love, whole lot of pain in our lives, and we're due for some love again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead and play your guitar. Yes, come on, we bringing it back now. Everybody, darling, let me hold you, guard you from pain, be your glove in the winter time, and your coat in the rain now, 'cause we've seen a whole lot of love in our life, a lot of pain in our lives, and we do. Whoa, we gonna, everybody join in, sing with me. Help me sing, oh, 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 whole lot of love, sing, say, oh, oh. Yeah, love, please, it all. Yeah, I did. You know it have, you know it is. We've seen a whole lot of love in our lives, and we're due for some love. We're due for some love.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, the only thing that gave me the courage to do something like that was, first of all, I was playing with some church folk from jump anyway. So, I mean, I had some incredible players on that. Robert Stevens came in. He was a keyboard player, a great friend of mine, fantastic musician, unreal. Live, like all that stuff we did in the studio, you know, with the B3 and everything like that. I had Derek Wright, DW's brother, on drums. He's gone on to play for like everybody and their mama. Hanan Rubenstein, who plays for Alicia Keys, he was on guitar. Nate Jones on bass, who's played for everybody as well. And then of course Tiffany and Darius. So like, I don't come from that space, but being around them and the chord structures and things that they were playing with when they would interpret my music helped me to be like, I want to touch one of them joints. Plus blues is anybody who does soul touches blues, you know what I mean? So this is kind of like a blues meets gospel kind of song anyway. But yeah, so you really took me back with that. I haven't heard that one in, I don't know how long.
Well, that's why, I like mixing it all up. Let's do a little bit of older stuff, new stuff, you know? Because all of it is good. And I think it's something that everybody needs to hear. All the people need to hear. You know,
and it's new to whoever hasn't heard it, which is quite a few folks. So,
exactly. A whole lot of love. I remember that in that show so vividly.
Yeah.
Because everybody was like, yeah, sing, Darien, go ahead, sing.
yeah, indeed. That's exactly right.
I think China was the one screaming in the front, wasn't she?
I think so. I think you might be right.
Sing, Darien.
Yeah.
I hear her voice in my head, so it has to be her. So I'm just thinking about Shore. Now, Shore is like my favorite house song by you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love Sure.
Another one I haven't heard in the grip, but it's funny. I'm like, I've heard Alibi I hear regularly, but Sure was definitely special for me because we revisited our relationship. They had hit me back later on with like, hey man, we need some more magical fire stuff. Let's get together and do some more work. And Sure was a result of that.
I love Sure. Now I don't know if I want to play the original version because I love that too, or do I want to play the house version? Or do I give a little snippet of each one? Hey, let's do it.
I'm like, both are new to me at this point.
Okay.
I'm like, which one?
All right, so we're going to play the original version first.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to play a little bit of the house version. I always say a little bit, but then I start getting into it. I wind up playing the whole damn song. But Sure, with Real People and Darien Dean.
That I've learned in life, questions seem the most difficult ones. We're left to find answers. You could struggle almost all your life to get chances. Said the chances you don't take lead you to regret. How can I be sure? Sure about the past, tell me where does it lead? How can I be sure? If you're sure about the signs, tell me what do they mean? And how can I be sure? La 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 la. Inside your mind and try to steal your peace. Voices again, moving nightmares into days from out your dreams. And we said we could find a way to close our eyes and make a move on how we feel. Use your faith and it will guide you to decipher what is wrong from what is real and be sure. About the past, tell me where does it lead? How can I be sure? If you're sure about the signs, tell me what
Yeah, you know what I love about that song? The way you caress. How can I be sure? That part.
All right now, sir. I hear you.
That's the part it's just something how it's just mellow, it's smooth.
Well, it's funny because I talked about earlier about like messages to self. When I wrote that song, I was in a real tumultuous kind of space with music and my job at the time. I was like trying to figure out what am I going to do? And, I was like trying to look for a lot of answers, that was a lot of what it was. So that kind of was a byproduct of really trying to talk to myself, like saying, if you got the answers, show me, because I need to know what's up right now. I was really trying to figure out whether or not to continue in music at that time. So, that takes me back to that space, So a lot of that song is affirmational and also informational for me right now, because I'm like, oh, right. Okay, that was that time when it was like the crossroad and I chose to continue on with music.
Thank you. I'm glad you did. Yeah, you got to follow your passions. I mean, that's the one regret that I might have a little bit, that I really didn't follow my passions. I got a regular job, but I'm not too upset about that either, because even though I had a regular job, I still kind of follow my passions on the side.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I mean, in part, and you're continuing to do so now with the podcast and everything else. So I think that's lovely, man. It's never too late. You know what I mean? No. I think we just, it's hard, man. It's hard to balance, especially. I can tell you, I still have this, even with the song out and continuing to do music, I still have these moments where I'm like, am I making the right choices? Because, passion is passion, but you still got to eat, So sometimes you be like, man, listen, I'm passionate about eating just as much as I'm passionate about making music.
I know that's right. Shoot. I mean, I think about it now, like, well, shoot, now is the perfect time to do, because at least I know I got a steady something coming in without going to work. I got a pension check. Exactly. Facts.
So,
and I was able to get out of there early enough when I'm still young.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. We're young, man. We already discussed that. We're young.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Oops, did I say a pension check?
Right. I didn't hear you.
All right. So since we talking about Sure, I'm going to do a little bit of the house version too.
Okay. Facts.
Because I love that one too. And then I'm not going to play the whole thing, I don't think. Because I started getting into it. I'm like, let it roll. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play a little bit of that. And then we're going to continue to talk.
There's one thing that I've learned in life. Questions seem the most difficult ones we'll have to find. Answers you could struggle almost all your life to get. Chances, and the chances you don't take lead you to regret. How can I be sure? Sure about the past, tell me where does it lead? How can I be sure? If you're sure about the signs, tell me what do they mean? And how can I be sure? La 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 la. Inside your mind, try to steal your peace. Voices singing, moving nightmares into days from out your dreams. And I said we could find a way to close our eyes and make a move on how it feels. Use your faith then it will guide you to decipher what is wrong from what is real and be sure. Show about the path, tell me where does it lead? How can I be sure? Show about the signs, tell me what do they mean? How can I be sure? Show about the path, tell me where does it lead? How can I be sure? Show about the signs, tell me what do they mean? And how can I be sure? La 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 la. I seem to have so many questions in my mind.
I hate to fade it, but that's my jam right there. I'll be in the car blasting that. Huh?
Yeah, well, it's interesting what a change in chord structure can do to a song, because it's a very different vibe than the original. And I love both of them, but I really dig the remix on this particular song. Like there's some remixes that I've been on that I've been like, okay, that's cool, but the original, but this joint has a whole different vibe. They're two different vibes based on the chord structures and stuff.
Yeah, that remix is off the chain.
Yeah. Facts.
It's never ever going to get old. You know, it just hits you. I just close my eyes and like, that's when the close your eyes song, you know?
Yeah.
It has
just
that
out and lean back on them synths. Just
you know, I call it space music. Because you close your eyes and you just go someplace else.
Right. Indeed.
So what's next for you, Mr. Darien Dean?
Well,
wait a second.
Oh,
I forgot to even talk about Hal King.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
I forgot all about that. I forgot to even talk about that. I like that too. I sat there and watched. I was like, wait a second. Go ahead. The little soldier part where you was singing, that's my part.
Yeah. That's my joint too. That's my favorite part too. That was an interesting situation, man. Again, one of the highlights of my career, really. A lot of great people in there: Eric Roberson, Ryan Shaw. A lot of people I didn't know before. Tariq Ballard, of course. But a good friend of mine, Steve Wallace, is an interesting story as well. All of them are. But he contacted me. Steve is brilliant. He's a brilliant guy, and he wrote this opera. And he voiced all the characters, which is the crazy part. And there's a lot of characters. There's probably 20 odd, maybe with minor characters, could be 30 people in there. And he voiced all of them. So he wrote the opera, he voiced all the characters. And when he was pitching it, I guess he needed to differentiate the voices because people were like, okay, well, you know, we're finding it hard to follow because, you know, even though he sings a million ranges and whatever, it's still the same tone overall. So it's harder, whatever. So he had called me in. And this was around the time of If These Walls Could Talk. So it was a while, like, you know, I was still in that vibe. And he said, hey, could you do me a favor and just voice this character for me? And I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, hey, man, whatever. You my boy. I'll come through and whatever. And I had not heard the whole thing, obviously. I'm just knowing my lines. So they are odd because, you know, he's just like, and do it like this. And I'm just like, is that right? And he's like, yeah, that's good. That's good. So I walk out like, I guess I did a good job. Right. I don't know. You know, there was one song, Thought It Was Me, you know, Thought It'd Be Me, which is my solo song in there that I understood more because it was very much, I mean, Hal King is an R&B opera, but this was more leaning on an R&B structure as song-wise anyway. So I walked away feeling pretty good about that. But I didn't know about the rest of the stuff at all. And many years later, I'm on tour in Thailand and I get an email from Steve. And he says, hey, man, would you be interested in being in this movie for that thing you did? Now, this is years later, so I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm in Thailand like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you remember that opera thing I did? I said, oh, yeah. I said, you shooting a movie? And he was like, yeah. And I'll keep it 100. I thought like he's, you know, camera phone, something. I'm like, I said, this is my boy still, though. So I'm like, yeah, man, I rock. He's like, yeah, man, so we're going to fly you out to, I said, oh, we're flying places? Oh, this might not be a camera phone then. Anyway, I show up on set. It was amazing, you know, costumes and choreography. And now I get to hear what was used and how it was used and how it works with the other characters. And it was just an amazing experience for me. You know, I didn't have acting experienced before then. And one thing that's amazing is the director is Myron Davis. And Myron Davis is a singer that I love from back in the day. I didn't even realize it until we were 4 days into shooting. And everybody on the set is singing, everybody can sing. Everybody's like, you walk around, it's just like, oh my gosh. And then I heard Myron do a little something. I said, the director's singing too? And they said, that's Myron. And I was like, Myron? Like, because, I know him as just as Myron.
Right.
And then it just all flooded back to me. And I was like, hey, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to fan out on you right now, even though we shoot a movie together. But so yeah, man, it was a fantastic experience. He was great. His direction, Steve's direction helped me to feel comfortable enough to do what I did in Howard King. And it was just a really inspiring experience. And I hope to get to do something like that again one day. It was great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was watching. I said, well, tell you the truth, I binge watched it last night.
Oh, dope. Okay. He was like, let me get ready for the
right. I gotta find,
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it and I was like, wow, but it came out this year, didn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's relevant to this interview also because, this is a massive undertaking as an indie artist. I mean, Steve is an indie artist. He's done a lot of really strong things before. He did like a whole music video album once before and things like that, but always within the confines of, the budgets, and the same thing with this, but to do it at the scale that they did it. I mean, there's a lot of elements to this. There's locations, there's different eras, there's the wardrobe, choreography. It's such a massive undertaking. Like I have the utmost of respect for him, even if I wasn't involved in it, to be honest with you, just because I know what it takes to put out an album. And now you're talking about a whole movie with an album, man, I love collaborating with artists. As you can tell from a lot of my different songs, I've got a lot of collaborations, but it's not always easy, to try and get people's schedules to line up. And this is just one person, like it takes a while. So for him to get 15, 20 odd people that are all current artists touring and doing what they're doing, and to get them to be able to sit down and film a movie, man, hats off to him all day, every day.
Yeah, shout out to Steve Wallace.
Shout out to Steve Wallace.
Yeah. Definitely. I remember Steve from back in the day also with this, These Walls Can Talk.
Absolutely.
And I've got Steve's indie artist albums and stuff like that, and listening to him. And so even to this day, he said, oh, Troy, you still indie family. He's always shouting me out.
Indeed.
So I'm so happy. Matter of fact, I was talking to Monet when this all was going down.
Oh, okay.
And Monet said, well, Troy, I'm working on something right now. I'm working on this movie, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And, but she wouldn't give me, a whole bunch of stuff, but she was telling me she was working on it. She said, wait till it come out. I'm going to let you know, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Monet also.
Yeah, shout out to Monet. She was a big part of that, putting that that film together. Actually, I think she's one of the people that cast me. Really,
yeah,
I have done the vocals for it, but I know they were kind of working on who they were going to have do different things, and then and also since I wasn't in the States at the time, it was kind of like a kind of iffy thing. But I'm glad I made the cut.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, you did a wonderful job, man.
Thank
so,
you, brother.
Anybody haven't seen it? It's on. You can watch it online. Just Google it and say Howard King.
On Amazon.
That's why I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's on all of it. So just check it out, y'all. It has a lot of great indie artists on there, and they all just doing the damn thing.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful show. So back to the question before, what's next for Darien Dean?
Well, I have quite a few things coming up, man. Obviously, I have Departures is in the back here, figuring out when I'm going to release that. I plan to get back on the road at some point, but I may be doing it a little bit differently, just because I want to see even more of the world. I'm greedy like that. I just want to see more, and I want to do more. So I've been doing some things in line with the Detours album, which have been just that, which have been going to wild places and doing whatever I can. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I have some side projects that are coming out. I just did a project with an artist named Jason Hira, actually. And this is the first time I'm actually speaking on it. He landed 3 songs in the new movie that's on Netflix called The Last Resort with Christina Milian, I believe. And It takes place in Mauritius. He's an artist out of Mauritius. I met him. That's a whole other story in itself, but I met him in Kazakhstan by way of Australia. So it's a whole wild situation. But we got together on a project that I was working on when I was in Jamaica, actually, that I recorded at Tough Gong. And it's going to be on his new record. One of the songs is on that. So that's another detour in my sound. But it's not a detour for me because I grew up on reggae, you know. So that'll be that.
Are you originally from? Were you born here?
My family's from Jamaica. Right. Yeah. So I spent about 4 months there during the pandemic and got to get back in contact with the fam and just get back to the roots, you know, like the original roots stuff. So that's coming, and I'm working on some other things that, you know, everybody's got the things they can't necessarily speak on, but definitely keeping it with the arts. I'm still very passionate and very inspired by music, which honestly is such a blessing because it's been a while and there've been highs and lows, and I know a lot of people in the scene that we both know have stopped, you know, just to keep it 100, you know. Yeah. And there have been times where I've been looking at I'm like, either I'm courageous or foolish. I'm not sure which one, but I'm still here. And I'm gonna continue to be here until that spark is no longer, which I hope it's never like that. I hope I have it till the end of days, you know.
Well, you know, I'm looking at now, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. So I don't think it's dead. What's his name? Jay in LA. What's his last name? Jay Ross. You know
Jay
him?
Ross, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's always sending me stuff. He's sending me so much stuff. I'm like making my head spin. But I'm like, keep sending it, Jay. Keep sending it. Shout out to Jay Ross. He's keeping me abreast of anything that I might have missed.
Okay.
Because I'm on the search. I'm on the hunt all the time. I'm listening to new music, trying to figure out, you know, what I like, who I think is going to be good, who, you know. Mm-hmm. And he's on the same hunt. So we are like tied together on that type of stuff.
All right. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's dead. I think it's going to come.
No, I don't think it's dead. I just think that unfortunately, you know, the powers that be have kind of pushed it down to a space where it's not what it was. And I'm just trying to figure out the navigation in that space because, you know, just keeping it real, like big singers are not really a thing right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're not really giving them any shine. I mean, I'm thankful that Jazmine Sullivan is finally getting some love, but if we're being honest, if this was 10 years ago, she'd be a superstar. She would have been a superstar. Like, I mean, that's just undeniable, you know? And that's all a direct result of, I think, you know, just the times and how a lot of people have held back a certain sound, you know, on the radio. Mm-hmm. So again, not to put a dimmer on what we're building, but it's a fact, you know, it's just a fact that, like, you know, things do evolve, but I don't think this is just a product of evolution. I think this is a product of marketing and, you know, different things, because the music that I grew up listening to and the music that has inspired me and the music that I make, quite frankly, is message music, you know, whether the messages are love, inspiration, whatever. And I think that when you have people listening to message music and being inspired to do things and to think, they're dangerous to some other people that don't want people to think.
I got you.
So the way you stop that is you stop allowing them to hear things that inspire them. They have to look for it. So now you got to actively search out the things that might make you be conscious for something. So, you know, if you think about, you know, all the Black Lives Matter things that happen, if I'm being real, at a different time in history, there would have been a outpouring of music. Like it would have been a whole thing. Like that would have been, come on, you know, and we had a trickling of a couple cuts here and there. And I don't think any of them really took root like a Fight the Power or, you know, I'm Black and I'm Proud. And there was nothing like that.
Right.
And I think that also is a direct result of not allowing there to be, not just not allowing it, but also putting people in a mind state of, well, people ain't really trying to check for that. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of artists felt that way too. Like, man, nobody's really trying to hear me say that. I've done a couple of songs like that. I did a song called Unjustified on a record by my boy Soul Persona. And it was basically about stuff that happened. Like, this was maybe Mike Brown time, you know, and this is before there was 15, 20 more incidents later. And again, it was like one of those things where these cuts don't see a lot of movement. You know, people, I think, want to be they want to be entertained away from the badness a lot of times, you know, like their news is filled with dread and horror and fear. So they want their entertainment a lot of times to be just like, I don't want to think.
It's superficial and
just take me away, you know, which is why, you know, I think like superhero movies and all that stuff is great because people like to get taken away. But you have to also be present because it's going to happen regardless. You know what I'm saying? These things are happening regardless of whether you turn a blind eye. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that our music at present does not reflect that. Even on a base level, it doesn't really reflect Black love as I know it. You know, it reflects there's a love component, but it's usually spoken from a, like, you know, you cheat and you this, that, you know, that kind of, you know.
It's not from the heart.
I mean, maybe some people, maybe that's how they feel about love. I have different, I've been cheated on. I know those emotions.
Yes.
But I just feel like there's other emotions and we don't have balance. I think at the end of the day, it's balance. Like, do we have balance? Same thing with hip hop. You know, I come from a time where Tribe Called Quest and NWA was on the radio at the same time. Yeah. That's balance to me. You need yin and yang. You have to have them. Otherwise, it's unbalanced, you know, at the end of the day. And I think that's where I'm at with I have to search the balance out. If I listen to the radio, I'm going to get one side. Yeah. And then if I go searching, I'll find the other things, you know, but that takes effort and not everybody's willing to put that effort in, you know.
That's true. I got a playlist. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a playlist out on your podcast, also Darien Dean playlist of all the songs that, you know.
All right.
Must be how many songs on this playlist? I got, let me see, 2 hours and 44 minutes.
Damn, I need to check that playlist myself. I'm like, I did that much music?
Anyways, 2 hours and 44 minutes worth of music that I'm going to put on the playlist that comes out with your podcast. And then I have another playlist that's just the BAAS Entertainment playlist. It's up-to-date music, and some of it is, you know, I wean out the stuff that I'm gonna be honest, I don't like.
Listen, you get to be a curator, man. That's what you were doing when we met. So I think it's important. I think that's also something that's missing because there's no curators really at the moment. It's a double-edged sword. Everybody can play, which is cool, but everybody plays, which is noisy. So now you don't have anything to kind of like help other than the grand gatekeepers who, like I said, my conspiracy theory is they're not letting a lot of stuff through, but you don't have anybody that's at least pointing you. It would be easier if I'm somebody who likes a certain style of music, rather than me having to search for all of it. It's cool to have people like yourself that we have similar tastes and I can go check what you're checking out. And maybe I'll get put onto some people and maybe I'll put you onto somebody, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there are fewer people I think that are doing the curation, that I come across anyway. Everybody's kind of like, it's like a free for all, you know, everybody's just like, well, I think they said, I can't remember how many, it's probably more than this. I think they said 20,000 new songs every day on Spotify. It might be more. That's a lot of music. You know what I mean? It's a lot. And you know, it's great that we all have access to be able to do this, but there was something special at the time when you did have a couple of lines where you had to at least get your stuff up to a certain level. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that before it's even out, like imagine if everybody who could turn on a stove could open a restaurant. Like that'd be chaos. You know what I mean? It'd be like madness. You might find some amazing new restaurants. You probably would. You'd be like, damn, this person, they would have never had money for an awning. And here they are making the best, you know, whatever I've ever tasted. However, you're going to have hundreds, thousands of restaurants that you're going to be like, somebody need to shut this down.
Right.
Like shut this down immediately. Like, you know, so anyway, man, you know, it is what it is.
Well, you know, I'm curating. So you wouldn't go on over to the BAAS Entertainment podcast, you know, and it's on Spotify.
There it is.
And give it a listen, you know, it's like your song, grown folks music. This is grown folks music, y'all.
Yeah, grown folks music, indeed.
Matter of fact, what are we going to go out on?
Well, you just spoke on grown folks music. Maybe you drop Harmless in there.
All right. So
Harmless off the Departures record.
I just want to say once again, thank you, man. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for this run through not only memory lane, but the current, the present, and in the future as well. So, man, looking forward to listening to more of your podcasts as well and supporting what you do. And thank you for supporting me throughout my entire career, man. Greatly appreciate that.
No, man, it was my pleasure. My pleasure. And when Destinations come out, come on back and
you'll be first, brother. I'll get
back
right
and
over
talk
to you. You got it. Indeed. We're gonna chop it up with some more.
Everybody, I just want to tell you, you've been listening to the BAAS Entertainment Podcast, and our special guest is Darien Dean. What a conversation. What a great time. And we're going to ride out on Harmless. I hope I know you're going to enjoy it because I do. And Darien, again, thank you. Thank you,
brother. Appreciate you.
Say it. Said I'm trying to be polite now, and I hope I get it right. If you ever had the notion for some loving and devotion, I got that magic potion, and I promise you it's harmless. So if you wanna roll, hey, I'm ready to go, and if you wanna ride now, baby, ride. That could be so nice if you wanna see me, baby. Well, this line here's important. Forget what you've been thinking and know that love is harmless. I know you're scared of all the ghosts that's in your past. Relationships gone bad and the ones that didn't last. Well, I can guarantee when you reach out in the darkness, this house was never haunted, and I promise you it's harmless. So if you wanna roll, yeah, I'm ready to go. And if you wanna ride now, baby, well, that could be so nice. You need to know you're the star on my red carpet. Forget what you've been thinking, lady, and know that love is harmless. I think it's safe to say that we both paid our dues. Highly explosive love, but we chose to light the fuse. Let's take a cruise for two on the waters that's uncharted. Forget what you've been thinking, baby. This love will be harmless. So if you wanna roll, I'm ready to go. But if you wanna ride now, baby, that could be so nice. What kind of fool would throw away a fortune? Well, I gladly take his portion and show you love is harmless. Woo! Ride with me, ride with me, ride with me, ride with me. Ride, baby, yeah. Roll with me, roll with me, roll with me, roll with me. I said, be with me, lady. Forget what you've been thinking about love. You ain't got to worry about no ghost getting hold of you. The only thing bumping and grinding in the night gonna be us two. I hope these walls ain't too thin in this apartment, 'cause we gon' make some noise as soon as we get started. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, yes, I said all the way. Yeah. Don't you worry about a thing, baby. what they done told